Harvey, the Fulham fan, straight in here. Something obviously we're going to talk about. He says, read Jude Bellingham. We need to discuss whether or not he should be going to the World Cup. His attitude seems to be the opposite to what Thomas Tuchel is building with the rest of the squad. I think he could unsettle things at the World Cup and become a distraction that we don't need. Of course, he had that so-called angry reaction to being substituted. Thomas Tuchel said afterwards, maybe tellingly, behaviour is key.
Do you think we can get Thomas Tuchel on with his mother and see what she thinks, Jeff? What did you think, mother, of what he did?
Yeah. I'm sure Mrs. Tuchel was unimpressed. But look, to me, Gabby, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, just to touch on it, for me, it's what he does on the pitch that counts. And actually, I didn't think he did enough on the pitch.
Yeah.
Not to worry Morgan Rogers too much anyway. But I'm not so sure that he's under the microscope. He should be, and he's an intelligent guy.
Yes.
He should realise that every single action he takes will be magnified so many times.
If I'm Thomas Tuchel, I'm going to sit him down again and say, listen, there's people in the media that are after you. Every little thing you do, Jude, you play for Real Madrid, they're going to be after you.
Yeah.
So, like, when I do bring you off, it's 80 minutes as well. It's not 60 minutes. It's not half-time. You're one of the last players to come off the pitch as a sub. Just don't throw your arms up a little bit. When you come off, don't slouch down, sit up and be happy with your teammates, be a smile on your face. Have that chat with him. But let's not go dramatic like some journalists are with, we shouldn't go now. This is another thing he's done. Let's calm it down a little bit.
Yeah. So 8 wins out of 8 for England. As you might have read or heard occasionally, didn't concede a goal in qualifying.
Incredible.
Players won't link up with Thomas Tuchel again on March. He told talkSPORT that he wishes he could be with them all the time. Lovely.
I got almost emotional. I had to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to these players, and I don't want to. I wanna compete on Wednesday again with them, and then on Saturday again. I wanna have them around. They give me so much energy. It's a privilege to be on the sideline and fight with them. So I will miss them a lot. I actually don't know how this goes until March now, but we will survive and find some stuff to do to have the next good camp in March.
March, the next camp. It's going to be interesting. I think players who are not in and around it now, bar an injury, they can forget it.
Yeah.
Maybe with one exception.
Unless you have an unbelievable rest of the season.
Don't think he cares.
I know.
Don't think he cares.
He's got his squad of players, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I do worry for a couple of players. I didn't think Kwanzaa looked quite right there. I know he's not a right back.
Yeah, I thought he was okay.
He's centre back playing right back. I worry about Bowen getting in that squad as well. The talent that we've got, I don't think he will make it. It'd be interesting if he takes Foden and Palmer. But he's got a lot of options.
Palmer is the big quandary, isn't he?
Exactly.
I worry about Eberechieze, who I thought didn't make the most of a start. He didn't get much in terms of service either. But look, you know what? People who tell me, you may think exactly the same, that Jude Bellingham was man of the match yesterday, as he was voted player of the match. Well, I've never seen a football match in my life in that case, because he just wasn't. And by the way, the fellow who was is the guy who got you both goals, because without that, you're not winning the game.
No, nobody stood out for me. And like you says, Harry Kane, 2 important goals again. Was great movement most of the game. I feel like you got to give it Harry Kane over anyone. I thought Jude Bellingham didn't have his best game. I thought he battled well. He made some great tackles going forward. Didn't really do enough in that 10 role. Eze didn't do enough.
Gave it away for me, Bellingham. Caught in possession, rather.
Yeah, of course.
Too often, because he was trying too hard to do things.
Wharton wasn't at his best either. I don't think anyone really turned up. But you've got to give credit to Albania. They're in the playoffs for a reason. They're a decent side.
They are a decent side. And when you look back, England created a lot of chances.
Yes.
A lot of chances. Saka, when he came on, a couple of great chances. Eze, before he went off, great opportunity.
I enjoyed that, though, Jeff. I was having a little test. A few counter-attacks and a few blocks. And you know what? All right, we didn't concede. We could have conceded. But we don't want to see us play every game and teams aren't having attacks against us. Pickford's yawning in goal. We don't want to see that. That's why we want friendlies in March.
It was for me, it was a decent game.
Yeah.
I thought it was a decent contest. And by the way, you mentioned about Pickford. One person who did do himself some good, I thought, was Dean Henderson, who showed himself to be a real safe pair of hands. Made that brilliant interception, tackle in the second half from the back pass, and he did himself no harm whatsoever. But back to Harry Kane, again, both of the goals. Alan Pardew thinks, though, we need to give someone else the chance up front when the next international break comes around. How long have you said that for?
Even now, why play him in March? You might as well just save him for his run-in with the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich and maybe Champions League or whatever they're going for, and save him for the World Cup. So we do need to have a look at another striker in that role. Who's going to come to the fore? Watkins, is he going to find some form at Villa? Tony, is he going to keep banging them in Saudi Arabia but get overlooked? Or is Welbeck going to just do what he does, which is play very, very well for his club side? And I think he'll have an opportunity as well.
You see, for me, Gabby, the weakness in Al's argument there is he could have done that this time round.
Yeah.
Because neither of the games mattered.
No.
You know, we'd already qualified. So, you know, if you're going to rest a striker, you could rest him now. And I don't think he will rest Kane.
I don't think he should. I think between now and March, if you're Delap, let's step up. Let's get goals. Watkins, let's get back to the form that got you into the England squad for the Euros. You got that goal against Netherlands. Great goal. But in March, do you not want to say, all right then, if everyone's fit, as much players as possible, can I pick my closest squad to what I'm going to have in the summer and play my closest team to what I'm going to play in the summer, get them used to playing with each other? What are you going to rest him for? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't.
I don't see that happening. Not the way that Tuchel likes to do things as well. I know he made changes against Albania, but by and large, he likes to stick to his tried and tested.
So I'd love, though, Jeff,
like.
I'd love a couple of games in March. Not going to happen, but can we play an Argentina? Can we play a France or a Spain or a Portugal? Let's see what our defence can do against these teams. Proper wingers.
Gabby, I wouldn't want to do that at all.
Well, didn't you want to test yourself, though?
No, because if you go, you might never have to face Argentina in the World Cup. You might have to face Portugal. But if they come and beat you, then what's that going to do for morale?
Yeah, but I go the other way. To win a World Cup, you're going to have to play against the top side. So why not test yourselves? We haven't conceded a goal, Jeff.
I know.
We haven't looked like conceding a goal throughout qualifying. Can we say, all right then, who's playing right back? Reece James. Come on, Reece James. Let's see you against Vinicius Jr. Left back O'Reilly. Let's see you. I know we see these players against top players in the Premier League, but can we see this squad? And Anderson and Rice. All right then, we like you in the midfield. Let's see you with 2 10s on you.
Yeah, no,
Let's see how you play.
I completely agree that, look, I mean, a lot's made of the fact all you can do is beat what's in front of you.
Of course.
But the quality of some of the sides we've played against has been abysmal.
Yeah.
So you've got to put that in perspective.
Yes.
I think what you need in March, to me, is a couple of decent tests, but not games, realistically, that you might, get beaten and maybe beaten badly in, know. Yeah, I think you need to keep a bit of morale there. You need to keep the winning run going.
Oh, of
as
course,
well.
yeah. But I just like to see these players tested. The Anderson and Rice midfield, can we get them tested against a team with top number 10s?
Yeah.
If it's Brazil and you've got Cunha and João Pedro in there, let's have a look at yours. Does it work?
Yeah. Ant has texted in, must have been watching from Australia, eh? He says, really wasn't impressed with Bellingham again yesterday. Morgan Rogers currently to start in the number 10 role at the World Cup.
Well, Jeff, if he does, so be it. I'll never sit here and say Bellingham plays for Real Madrid, he has to start. No way.
Of course not.
Whoever deserves to start, manager's choice. Maybe Bellingham doesn't start the first game, but comes on, scores a winner, starts the second game.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's a squad game.
Exactly.
But will Jude Bellingham see it that way?
He has to.
Okay. So what is on the back? Let me guess what is on the back pages. It's Jude Bellingham.
Just don't get it. But anyway, we will get onto that in a second because we'll get onto Gabby's best friend as well. But on the back page of the Mirror, it's strop class. Thomas Tuchel issued a fresh warning to Jude Bellingham. I'm not quite sure he issued a warning to Jude Bellingham. But also a nice story. Parrott has the last word after that incredible comeback from the Republic of Ireland, a last-minute winner. That was brilliant. Again, on the back page of the Times, Captain Kane completes the clean sweep. And again, Bellingham warned by Tuchel on the back page of the Telegraph. But the story we're going to focus on, Gabby, is your mate Craig Hope on the back page of the Mail. And it says, Thomas Tuchel has warned Jude Bellingham that behaviour and respect are key after the England star protested against his substitution. Do we really have a problem with this? I can't understand. I've watched it. I don't think it was petulant. I don't think he didn't have any respect for Morgan Rogers. He played well. He got man of the match. He was disappointed.
Didn't play well. He didn't. He was ordinary. You know, he was ordinary.
But that doesn't change the fact that if someone's disappointed about coming off, why can't they be disappointed about coming off? It's got nothing to do with lack of respect to Morgan Rogers. But Gabby, did you think it was petulant?
No. What I thought was people will pick a little things with Jude Bellingham. Another player does that. It's like it's not big news. Jude Bellingham didn't have one of his best games, but got player of the match. 80 minutes, he comes off, wants to play every minute. Maybe Thomas Tuchel just needs to speak to him and say, listen, like, every little thing you do is going to be scrutinised. When you come off, don't be like slouched down. Maybe, do you know what I mean? Go and celebrate with your teammates. We 2-0 up. So I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's back page news. But I think maybe Jude Bellingham going forward, that's maybe a little
The
bit
problem
better.
is, Gabby, everything that Jude Bellingham does is going to be back page news, like it or not.
Yeah.
And he is an intelligent enough guy to know he's under the microscope. Yeah. And to do anything at all, I mean, you're 1-0, you've won the game, you've qualified already. I understand his frustration, because regardless of whether it was he's man of the match or not, you know, I didn't think he played particularly well, and he won't have thought he's played particularly well by his standards, because we know how good.
But as well, Jeff, maybe he might have been frustrated at his own performance a little bit. Of like, I could have done better today.
But why is that?
It's not a problem.
Why is that headline? Also,
because he's Jude Bellingham. But that's the only reason.
But Jude Bellingham is one of England's best players. Yeah. We should be celebrating Jude Bellingham for everything that he is, and we've got someone that is a winner. He's got an ego, but like we hate players like that.
We've done it with Beckham. We've done it with Rooney.
This is Chris. So Craig Hope said,
Thomas Tuchel believes, and he's made this right since he took over as England manager. It's about the team, and he said afterwards, behaviour is key. Now, that's what he believes, in which case, you know, he will see Bellingham as a sort of outlier. And at the moment, I don't see Bellingham starting in the World Cup. I see Morgan Rogers starting.
I mean, Craig Hope said this was Jude's chance to show he can be a team man, and he failed. I think that is so unbelievably harsh.
Did you not see during the first half where Bellingham's breaking his neck to get back to a slide tackle to do his defensive duties as a number 10? That's teamwork, doing the hard yards, defending. When he gave the ball away, he was hunting it down, he was chasing keeper. That's the hard yards. But listen, sometimes you can't take people like Craig Hope seriously. You know, he's now doing a bit of Sky and stuff. Maybe the headlines have got him that little gig. So he's always had it in for Jude Bellingham. You can't take these guys seriously. Like you says, let's celebrate a top player. Little things you can do better. Yes,
of course.
Don't throw your arms up when you come in half, or put your arms up or slouch down. But we're forcing it a little bit now.
I
agree.
Like,
leave him alone. Leave the lad alone.
Do you think he'll start in the World Cup?
I think he will. I think
ahead of Rodgers.
Yeah, I think Morgan Rogers is an outstanding player, but I think in that first game he will go with Bellingham. Even last night, Bellingham started the last player to get substituted. You know, the manager will like him, will like the player that he is, and he will speak to him. Listen, everything you do is going to be scrutinised. When I bring you off, don't put your arms up. Come on, Jude, please, Jude. Joe, he will speak to him like that.
Morgan Rogers has been outstanding for England.
Of course,
recently.
I totally agree.
What message would that send out to Morgan Rogers?
I think as well, Jeff, you have to look as how do they both perform between now and the end of the season. If Rogers keeps it up and he's outstanding, then Rogers might start. Yeah. Like, we don't know. We're all guessing here. The manager will choose his team by how the players play for the rest of the season, how they play in March. And he might not be any of them. Jeff, he might be Foden.
Morgan Rogers hasn't had the greatest start to the season. In fact, last season he was way better for Aston Villa than he has been at the start of the season.
Recently, he's been exceptional.
Yeah.
But as in, when you look at, like, you know, last however many games for Villa, when Villa have improved, Morgan Rogers has obviously been key to that. Yeah. But in terms of a season as a whole, it hasn't been great.
Start of the season, it wasn't at his best.
No, nowhere near.
Recently he has.
But obviously he has stepped up for England, and we have seen players do that. Don't necessarily play that well for their clubs, but step up for England. Just before I go, we obviously spoken about England, but we got to talk about Troy Parrott.
Yes.
Because I was listening to the commentary and it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a Republic of Ireland fan. It just means nothing to me.
Yes.
But that moment, it just felt so special.
Unbelievable.
And seeing the celebrations at the end.
Celebrations were great.
I thought that was brilliant.
I loved it because Republic of Ireland, it's been too long since they've been to a World Cup. Yeah, it's been too long. Scotland's been too long. And they've struggled out now under the new manager. Recent results, won the last 3. Big result against Portugal. And they've needed a player to step up since the days of Robbie Keane, Damien Duff, those players. Now, Troy Parrott seems like the man. We thought it'd be Ferguson, but it hasn't been. Now Troy Parrott's the main man.
Did you see the most ridiculous thing ever at the end of that game? So, I mean, they're not through. Let's go. They're only in the playoffs, but it's a brilliant achievement from where they came from. They had no chance of reaching the playoffs before they played Portugal last week. So the 2 wins are absolutely incredible. But Troy Parrott's got his hat-trick. He's taken the Republic to a playoff for the World Cup and with his goal in the 96th minute, and he was booked for over-exuberant celebration.
Oh, was he actually?
Yeah.
I hate that.
It was the ref, Craig Hope.
Excessive celebration.
I don't understand, because he took his shirt off after scoring a 96th minute
I know,
winner.
it's incredible, isn't it?
How can we scrap that rule?
Yeah.
That needs to go.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he stopped running when he did. I think if I scored a goal like that, I would have done the whole lap of the pitch.
I'd have been down the tunnel.
You'd been out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing result.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.